Another Donald Trump health bomb is now exploding as the cover-up of Trump's recently revealed MRI has begun. The White House clearly has no idea how to cover this up, and Trump's White House seems to be panicking to deal with what do we say next. Let's talk about what's going on. There are some real questions that deserve answers, not because it's Trump, but because it's the president of the United States. The White House is stonewalling. Trump went to Walter Reed Medical Center earlier this month. It was supposedly yet another routine medical examination. We fast forward to this week. Donald Trump on Air Force One casually mentions, I did get an MRI. It was a great MRI. It was perfect. Doctors have never seen such an awesome MRI before. Classic Trump. Everything's perfect. Here's what he had to say.
The readout from Walter Reed mentioned advanced medical imaging. Did you get an MRI? Can you tell us what that was?
I did. I got an MRI. It was perfect. Yeah. I mean, I gave you the full results. We had an MRI, and in the machine, the whole thing,
Yeah.
and it was perfect. Yeah.
Did you say what in particular they were?
You could ask the doctors. In fact, we have doctors traveling with us, but I think they gave you a very conclusive. Nobody has ever given you reports like I gave you. And if I didn't think it was going to be good, either I would let you know negatively, I wouldn't run, I'd do something.
Trump claiming that this is the most transparent anybody's ever been about health. Now, here's what's going on, and here's why this is becoming increasingly concerning. White House Dr. Sean Barbabella put out a summary of Trump's visit to Walter Reed. The summary didn't mention any MRI. Now, it did say Trump underwent advanced imaging. Whether we consider MRI at this point advanced, I don't know, but is definitely a relatively vague term. Could have meant the CT scan, could have meant other things, but it didn't say that it was an MRI. And the most important aspect about the report is not only did it not say Trump got an MRI, it didn't say why imaging was done and what the results showed. What were they looking for? And so the cover-up starts. Compare this to Donald Trump's medical exam back in April. That was a comprehensive report. There were 3 full pages of results. There were lab tests. There was a list of medications, vital statistics, physical exam. It still was a propaganda document in that it said everything is awesome, but at least it had some tangible information, which, if true, give us some sense of what's going on with Donald Trump. And notably, it included cognitive testing. Trump took the Montreal Cognitive Assessment. He said, I got a 30 out of 30. They put it in the report. Now, Trump again brought up cognitive tests this week. He confused the dementia screening test with an IQ test and said AOC and Jasmine Crockett have low IQ, whereas I did awesome on my test, even though the test is only meant to determine, are you suffering from a relatively serious brain injury, Alzheimer's, or dementia? And what is interesting is that in this recent case, Trump still said he did awesome, but he was less specific about the details. Now, CNN spoke to a prominent cardiologist, Dr. Jonathan Reiner, and Reiner said, MRIs are never part of a routine evaluation. Whether you're the president or a regular person, in the normal medical setting, you do an MRI because of a symptom or a lab that shows a reason to delve into something more deeply. Could be neurological, could be back pain, could be a cardiac issue, could be a blood test that says, whoa, we should really look at this organ, for example, and then you get an MRI. Now, the exception to this, as I mentioned yesterday, is that it's becoming more popular and available to people willing to pay to do a full body MRI, sort of a preemptive MRI. We talked about it yesterday. We have no reason to believe that that's what was done here because it's not what we have been told. In fact, if that was what it was, we do a full body MRI of Trump because he's Trump, the way a lot of people do. If you're a patient of Dr. Peter Attia, he and you might go, let's just get a full body MRI. We haven't been told that. So we should be told, the American people should be told, why did Trump get an MRI? What was evaluated on the MRI? What were the results? It's not unreasonable. We're talking about the health of a 79-year-old president. He's elderly, oldest president ever sworn in, with ongoing speculation about bruised hands, swollen ankles. It's all visible. He's not doing well. And we aren't getting even the most basic information. Now, secrecy around the health of presidents isn't new. Woodrow Wilson's strokes, JFK didn't disclose his back problems. FDR was able to occult that he was in a wheelchair for much of his presidency. I don't know if it was all, but much of the presidency that he was in a wheelchair was hidden. Even under Biden, we now know that there was an inner circle limiting access to Biden. So at least it wouldn't be obvious that he was slowing down. So Trump's not unique in that the White House seems to be limiting access to his medical information, but it is unique in the degree to which they are doing it. He is in a situation where it is reasonable for the public to know why the MRI was ordered, what symptoms he had, what did it show? Did Trump take a cognitive test in October? If not, why not, given that he took one in April? If he did take the cognitive test, why is he being cognitively tested so often? We have no answers to any of those questions from the White House. No clarity on the MRI, not addressing the cognitive testing question, and leaving us to do what we have no choice but to do, which is speculate about the health of arguably the most powerful person in the world, one of them for sure. Now, Trump wants to be given credit for transparency. He says nobody's given you reports like I've given you. Technically true. No one has ever, to my knowledge, no president has released propagandistic documents to the degree that what the White House puts out is propagandistic. But a 5-paragraph vague summary is not transparency. Offhandedly mentioning an MRI that wasn't even in the report and then not explaining why you got it is not transparency. And so when it comes to Trump's health and his mental acuity, my suggestion is trust your eyes and ears and common sense, because it's really there in the open. The swollen eyes, the swollen ankles, the bruised hands, the confusion, the disorientation, the being unable to string together sentences coherently. And meanwhile, we've got a document that says everything's awesome, no need to worry. The administration doesn't know how to deal with the MRI issue. They don't know how to deal with whatever is going on with Trump's health. And to a degree, it's up to us to keep the pressure on it. Many of us know all too well about the sticking, rubbing, and chafing that you can get with traditional underwear. Our sponsor, Sheath Underwear, have created unique boxer briefs with multiple ergonomic compartments in the front, which prevents skin on skin, and that means everything stays separate, comfortable, dry, and cool. You will have a boost of confidence when you're out and about. I've known so many people who were skeptical about those compartments, friends who say, I heard that ad for Sheath, what about those compartments? And then they try it, and then they're amazed at the comfort and breathability when they finally try it. You will thank yourself. Plus, Sheath has brand new materials like bamboo and mesh for even more cooling comfort. They will be the most comfortable pair of boxer briefs you ever put on. No more sweatiness and chafing and readjusting, especially at the gym. It's a lifesaver. Give Sheath Underwear a shot. I've had a great experience. I think you will too. Head over to sheathunderwear.com/Pakman and get 20% off with code Pakman. The link is in the description.